Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of You Don't Look Disabled. I am so sorry that we were out for 2 weeks. That was due to chronic pain. This toad was absolutely devastated for 2 entire weeks, and that was not a podcast because I was being a little bit too disabled for the purposes of being able to be live on twitch.tv. Um, we are here on this podcast called You Don't Look Disabled to talk about neurodivergency and disability overall. In my case, I am about, hopefully, to be diagnosed with fibromyalgia, so I'm also physically disabled. And yeah, we are here to talk about different topics. Ribi is gonna talk a little bit more in detail what we are supposed to be talking today, which is not a given considering that we both have ADHD and we go off topic quite often. Also, today's episode is probably going to be a little bit shorter because otherwise I will not be able to work tomorrow, and that would be no good.
Oh yeah, for sure. Even though, if I go a little longer, you might not be able to work tomorrow. Abolish work.
Dude, I would, but like,
Just kidding, just kidding, just
capitalism
kidding, just kidding.
capitalism still exists to our doom, I guess. But yeah.
Okay. So hello everyone. So we're going to talk about this week after so long, about the creative process and how it has to do with our neurodivergences and disabilities. So I think it should be remarked that we can start with two fundamental questions. The first one is how our disabilities and the neurodivergence has to do with how we perceive uh, the art process, like how we experience art, so to speak. And the second one is almost the same thing. And how creative process is actually influenced by our own neurodivergent disabilities. That's how we're going to start, and that's how we're going to be answered those two questions by each one of us. So I suppose you, Dave, that you should start because I cannot answer right now.
Okay. I don't remember which one of us suggested this topic, but in what concerns me, I felt like it was an interesting topic to talk about because I feel like me being neurodivergent has affected the way I experience not only art but all kinds of media. I guess most media do have an artistic component to it, but the way I experience it has been highly affected by my neurodivergencies, and lately also has also been affected by my physical disability. But since it's a more recent experience, I feel more comfortable talking about my neurodivergencies. I feel like, so to speak. Let's imagine. Okay, I'm a violinist. Okay, so God, it's been too long without me speaking for long periods of time. My brain is dying. Bear with me. Um,
Okay, I will help you if you need it.
no, I'm fine. I'm fine. I got this. I'm a strong boy. I'm a violinist, and I feel like a lot of times the way I perceived the learning of the violin was incredibly different from my colleagues. And sometimes it would manifest into me being too fast and sometimes in me being too slow. For example, I would be extremely fast on first sight reading because I could very easily detect patterns in a score, and very quickly I could just adapt to that and play things right away. On the other hand, I was very slow in what concerned having any progress after that. So imagine that I'm starting to learn a score. Very quickly, I would start doing better than everyone else, and then I would just be left behind because over time people would start performing better than me. And I figured out after a long time that that has to be with a sense of disconnection that I have with my own body. So for me, it's very hard to learn physical movements. And if I learn a physical movement in a specific way, it's very hard for me to just unlearn it and learn it in a completely different way. It still happens, and on my own channel, a lot of times I'm asked to do live learns, and I tend to do them very quickly and right away, and I feel like a lot of people get a little bit surprised with that. But then when it comes to actually getting things better from then on, I don't feel like a lot of times I improve all that much. It still happens
Mm.
pretty much the same as it has always happened.
That's
Uh,
kind of like ADHD, I guess. I think.
I do
Mm.
think so, but it also has to do with autism in the sense that the physical part of it specifically is really
Mm.
the thing of like I have trouble um commanding my body in the way that I want to, and my brain keeps freezing, and I can't really command my body in the way that I want it to work. It
Mm.
happens way too often. Um it really reminds me of a lot of descriptions of dysgraphia. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Mm-hmm.
um but it
Mm-hmm.
does remind me a lot of it, although I don't have it. I'm not dysgraphic, but a lot of the
I think it's
struggles.
dyspraxia. Dyspraxia.
Dyspraxia. Okay, that is interesting.
Yeah, because it's a gross motor impairment. Like you cannot coordinate movements,
Yeah, but
like
I
gross
that's the
movements.
thing, I can, and
Dysgraphia is
I'm
fine motor impairment. Sorry. So
I
continue.
see. No, no, I can. It's just so that I sometimes feel a lot of disconnect, and I feel like it's harder for me than for others overall, um, on that. But this is when it comes to playing the violin, because when you ask me about, for example, writing or drawing or something like that, I don't feel the same struggles as I feel with the violin, or even the same perks. Like I don't feel the same way, in the sense that what I feel that affects it the most is my hyperfixating on things. So I will be able to create a lot for one thing for extended periods of times, and then I will spend like weeks or months in which I just cannot, for the love of anything, get that thing done, and I will not, and I
Oh
just
yes,
won't
yeah.
find the energy. So like I might want to, for example, write a story a lot, and I might just start working on it and I'll get a lot done, and then I'll have like long periods in which I just cannot bring myself to do anything about it. And then I will again, and then I'll do a bunch again. But it's really, it comes with waves, and it's very hard to be consistent in what I produce or not. And ever since I started, well, being physically disabled as well, it has been even worse because I never have the energy for anything. So I can't even sometimes go like, okay, but you can just, get up and do it. No, a lot of times I can't get up and do anything. So I get one extra excuse, which is not really an excuse, but
Mm-hmm. I see. No, I kind of feel same for you on this one. I will approach this more on my when I speak now. Please
Mm-hmm.
proceed. Sorry.
No, no, I think I'm done. I think that's pretty much it.
You're finished. You're finished. Okay. Um. So I am not a violinist. Sorry to disappoint you.
I'm sorry. I'm baffled. I always thought we were literally the same person. And speaking of the same person, where's Jazz Cat? Jazz Cat should be here. I'm a poke the man.
I mean, a man has been through a lot, so I don't know.
True. I'm not gonna poke the man. The man will
Yeah.
come if he wants to.
Yeah, if he wants some warm company, he will be welcome. Um,
Sorry, I was reminded for the being the same guy kind of deal. My ADHD
so
brain went like,
but I'm now seeing Jessica, right? The Dave is away.
dude,
Dave has been, yeah.
dude.
You're not Dave. You're not Dave.
I'm not Dave. Okay.
You're not Dave. You're
Who am I?
Christopher.
Oh,
You're Christopher.
okay, okay.
Christopher. Sorry. Sometimes speech language. Sometimes it's
Speech
difficult.
language.
Um, Someone quote this.
Sometimes speech language.
Wait, okay, I will restart this, but then again, let me just start this quote because it's funny.
I can't do that for you. Just talk.
Yeah. Uh. Oh my goodness, I can really do things at the same time. It's even.
I'm doing it. Go on.
Okay, okay. Sorry. Thank you. So I am mostly known as a writer, as a poet, I guess. I mean, I think I'm known as a poet. I'm not really sure, but um, I did actually relate to when you said that you were like you were being able to do a lot of things when you first started your project or whatever writing project you learn, and then you just kind of lost the motivation and kind of if you get blocked and then I think that's how you said it. I don't know. Because it's the same thing though. Because and it's been like the same thing with my short story. Because I'm sorry, the thing I got stuck and then I never come back, and I was like, no,
I
watch
do
this
tend
thing.
to come back, but
I
takes
used
a
to then
while.
to it takes a while for me as well, or it never comes back, which is has been. That's why I have a lot of projects
Oh
that
yeah,
are
yeah.
undone.
The classical unfinished projects that you just never lead anywhere because I don't feel like doing that anymore.
And
Like I know
then
I bought an entire software to do that thing, but like I just don't feel like it anymore. Fuck. Kind of do.
software, I'm more archaic.
I've done that. I was shading myself, okay?
Okay. Um. Okay, so and that's because mostly of my ADHD. But it's just thing. The other thing that happened when I got in, there was actually 2 years or 3 years, I don't know, that I didn't write almost anything. I stopped.
Yeah.
I went full Rambo.
You went
If you know
for
the
Ram.
French poet's story, yeah, if you know the French poet's story, the original, the OG Rambo,
OG Rambo.
he wrote for three, yeah, he wrote for 3 years and then never wrote again. Yeah.
Honestly, that's a fucking mood. I've done that. Like I used to write so much. Like I have like an entire archive of things that I used to write and I used to write almost daily and then I just fucking stopped.
I've been more consistent to be honest, because I do have like an archive of stuff that I wrote since I was 12, and
No, 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 no. I'm bad.
yeah, but the other things that I wrote before were lost.
Mm.
But I did write stuff on when I was 8, 9, 10, and then uh, but they're kind of always finished, you know. But I did stop from when I was 90 to 20 something. I don't know. Because well, things were happening. Basically, I kind of lost the ability to read. That was
Oof.
so. Therefore, I didn't. Yes, I was very perfectionist, and then I realized that I lost my ability to read. I feel like I could not write as well
Like
because I
when you say
didn't.
reading, do you mean like reading a book or
Mm-hmm,
ah
mm-hmm,
okay, gotcha. Like reading as a activity.
mm-hmm.
Okay.
But not as I could not read a book to save my life, basically, and
Yeah,
not
yeah.
even today. I struggle with that. I know how to do it better nowadays, but basically, uh, I could not read shit, and therefore I couldn't create because well I need to read to create. Therefore, if I can't read, I can't create. So it was like a fucking yeah.
That sounds a little bit like imposter syndrome in a way, in the sense that
Mm-hmm.
it's like, oh, I
Mm-hmm.
need to be able to master this thing, and how will I master this thing if I don't read? Therefore, I cannot create because I am not reading, I am not doing the thing that I'm supposed to be doing, so I'm bad,
Mm-hmm.
so I just won't create. What?
Uh, yeah, and then I started to write poetry like when I was 20, I think,
Hmm.
because I got a new thing in my life. which was a new pen.
Nice.
The kid, no, it was not a new pen. It was a bad joke.
I know it was a
Ah,
joke, but it was still. I was going with it. I was going like, yo, dude, I support it.
that was support. I support, dude. Just you bought a new pen. Now you're gonna write some swaggy
Oh, you're kidding, but
short.
for me, right, buying a new notebook or a new pen can actually send me on a creative drive. I don't know if that happens with you.
Uh, it used to, but no, I used to write. No, it was for a short period of time because I used to write in sheets in
Mm-hmm.
random sheets. Like I would
Yeah,
write,
yeah.
and it was very messy. So I never wrote in the notebook, so to speak. It was like
Mm.
very messy, and so that's why many things are lost. Because yeah, and uh, and actually though, uh, yes, I started when I was 20. Basically, I don't know if I really should disclose on why I started writing again, but basically to put it short, I guess I kind of changed my style, and something made me change my style. And when I changed my style, I kind of gives me a new drive to write again. So, and that's how it has been for a while. It's like, even now, like, because when I wrote that poem that I sent to you, I could write this big one because I change how I would write again.
Mm-hmm.
So I
I
had
mean,
to
you've
always
changed
experiment.
that. You've changed that a couple times now. Because, like, when I met you, you were writing in a certain way. And after that, you already
Mm,
changed it like 2 or 3 times. I can tell at
I don't know.
least two
I cannot count.
shifts. I can tell at least two big
Two?
shifts. Yes, at least. Because one of them was like when you I feel like your writing started being a little bit more fragmented in a way, like the way you were structuring things was a little bit
Okay.
more
I used to
semi
write on
metaphysical
all.
kind of deal. It's not the right word. I don't really have the right word for
No,
it.
no, 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 no. It's fine. It's better than I probably would describe to you.
And
When I
then it
first
started
started,
being a little bit more direct and more, but not like in an unhinged way, more just like plain and
oh,
even literal in a way. That was the second shift that I could notice. So like those are the two big ones that I could tell in your writing.
then as three, I guess it's been third. It's been a third then. If I'm
Oh,
because I think because it also just because I shifted right from Portuguese to English, so there's also that.
true.
So, and when I shift to English, I decided to build on kind of a puzzle. To be honest, like if you notice, like how do I explain to this? It's like you can know that there's a theme. There's several themes actually, and they just play with each other along the poem. It's like a game. At least at the last one that I sent you, it was like a kind of a game. It was more fragmented, yes, but it was because I don't know why I fragmented to be honest.
I like it that way.
Yeah, I also like it. So, but there's a game like between. If I want to give you more context to that poem, it was basically probably a mix of what it probably is OCD at the time.
Oh yeah.
Because the person gets contaminated. I think they got contaminated, and that actually happened. I kind of twist a little bit, of course, so not to be 100% real, but that happened. I was all going on that spiral. You're really watching me spiral.
Mm.
Not me, but the person there. And the ending. I know the viewers probably they're going to watch this afterwards, but they will not get any idea of what the poem I'm talking. Uh, I don't know. I'm going to publish on my Ko-fi, so please go there and to know the context. Uh,
Do you have your
but the
Ko-fi
end, yeah.
available? Like on do you have any command for your Ko-fi?
I think I put it on the socials.
You put it on the socials. Let me check. What is the
I
command?
think
Exclamation mark S or socials?
socials. Yeah,
So
exclamation mark socials. Yeah.
Oh, you make it so hard. Yes, there it is.
Yes, I did it. Okay. Uh, you may notice that the person accepts their fucking fault. Yeah, like the
But
let the affection win.
I must confess, I don't. I mean, I do remember the poem, of course. Like, I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember it
Mhm.
in detail. Like, I don't have it very
No, no,
present
no,
in
it's
my
fine. It's
memory.
fine. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, it's fine because I don't either. Like, I don't even remember the ending exactly. I don't remember, dude. But that's like a big example on why my third it changed me. It's even more existential. Yes, you can might say that. It's way
Hmm.
more existential. It's more logical. And the second shade that you probably notice is like, yes, it's more political based. Yes, it's more plain. Yes, it's even more kind of even tongue in cheek. The first one, well, it's been a while. Uh, the first one is kind of a mix, to be honest. Like,
I can't really judge the first one because I don't have anything to compare it with. So that's why I just didn't. I just kind of skipped it when describing. It gets hard to describe it
and for me either. It's
because
like
like
it's
it's the
even
first
more
one I
vague.
saw, you know.
Mm. For me, I think it was a mix between the. It was post romanticism, ironic romanticism. Like, I don't know. It was
Oh, dude, you think you know? I know what you're talking about.
not either. Like, it was a style that I'm probably not a fan nowadays. So yeah, that's why I kind of like I want to skip it that one as well. Move on. Uh,
I do gotta say that, like, when you were right now talking about like the second phase of your creation
hmm,
on the metaphysical part, I do gotta just I guess get a little bit of a wink to another neurodivergency which I almost have, and by almost is like I am like I am so close to have the criteria for an actual diagnosis, but no, I just have some traits of it, which is BPD, borderline personality disorder. And a thing that comes with BPD is
hmm.
just a sensation, a constant sensation of disconnect from the world that kind of comes with feelings of void. I think I've talked about this some other time. I'm not quite sure if I actually did or
Yeah, yeah,
not.
you did. You did. You
Um,
did.
but yeah, so basically, it's a thing that always I feel like is always present in when I create art. Is that I have a hard time actually putting things into words or manifesting like this feeling through things. So sometimes the things that I write just have a sense of not being quite there, which is not too far away from what I feel. And I did write a full tale, I guess maybe 4 years
Hmm.
ago. I don't really know exactly how long ago it was. No, more, probably around 5 years ago. And it was actually the only tale I tried to publish. I do have some poems that are in books out there being sold, but
That is weird. Because you probably gain shit from it.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice people. That's the industry. That's the publishing industry for you.
Yeah, yeah. No, I have things out there being sold in books, but I don't get any money from that.
With your name on it. It's weird. I
Yeah,
mean,
it has my name on it. It's I do
that
have,
name.
yeah, that name. Yeah. I do have
Yep.
two poems
Listen, people.
published.
Sorry, sorry.
I have two poems published. One of them I'm very proud of. The other one, I mean, it's average, I guess. Um, but yeah, but I
Which
did
one it
try.
is? Like a
I
sorry,
never
sorry.
showed them to you.
Okay.
I don't think I ever showed you any poem I've written, actually.
You did. You did.
I did?
Yeah. There's one that you said at the time that it was like how it felt at the time to have a too much executive dysfunction. I think, like there was even a verse that kind of resembled to a. I don't know if it was a table or a chair. I don't know, but it was like something along those lines.
I must
probably.
confess I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm like,
Um,
did I write that?
I'm so sorry. I
No, no,
have
no,
even a
no.
copy somewhere. I don't know, but
Listen,
I don't remember.
dude, that's fine. I'm just like, wait, I wrote things? I sent things that I wrote to people? I did that?
You did.
Oh,
I'm sorry to break up to you, but
covered me
yes,
surprise. Covered me surprised
yes,
because I
yes, you did. Yes, you did. I'm probably, yeah. I have tremendous memory sometimes, and I do remember you
no,
sending me
no,
stuff.
no, that's fair, that's fair. Anyway, back to what I was trying to say. I did write a tale,
Mhm,
uh,
mhm.
and the only tale I ever tried to publish is called, I guess, trying to translate it to English because I wrote it in Portuguese. Uh, it's called Little Piece of
The
Nothing. There we
Prince
go.
of Nothing.
The
Yeah.
Little Piece of Nothing. And The Little Piece of Nothing talks about that exact feeling of belonging to something or wanting to belong to something and yet feeling like you aren't even a thing.
Mhm,
Um, and that you end up finding yourself when you are part of something else. And it's about acknowledging your own emotions and just working through your own trauma. That's basically what the story is about. And I think that's the closest I've ever gotten to translate that feeling of just existing while not existing that I feel so often. That really comes with that. Comes it's a BPD trait really. It doesn't come from autism. It doesn't come from ADHD, and that's as far as me and my therapist could. T- fuck.
come up with.
Yeah, I guess that works. Not what I was thinking of, but yeah, I guess
Yeah,
that works. Um,
yeah.
and I do feel like that just disconnect really affects everything I do, not just and how I do everything, not just my art, but just my way of even making friends, for example. Because I will spend immense amounts of times just spacing out and thinking about someone randomly and trying to figure out things that I can't really have words for. It's like concepts that have not really colors, it's not visual, but they just exist in my head and I try to put them together, and that's how I kind of come up with things. It really
Hmm.
affects not just my art creation, but really my entire relationships. And it's very hard to explain because it doesn't happen through words, but it does happen through concepts that theoretically I should be able to put into words, but more often than not I cannot find them.
I do have. I don't know if you finished.
I
I
kind
don't
of did,
even know.
yes.
I'm trying.
I'm eating
So
candy
you
to cope.
express your. That's whatever it does to you, my dude. Please do. Um. Well, you mentioned that your suspicion of not really suspicion. I would definitely have traits of BPD.
Mm-hmm.
It's been come to my recent realization that I probably have some traits, but not of BPD. I mean, I still don't exclude BPD though.
Cluster B
Of
stuff.
Yeah, cluster B stuff. Antisocial personality disorder for me. Some traits of it. I'll not say that I have the full thing, but some traits of it I pretty much have. And the one that probably is the most remarkable for me um, is my difficulty to understand and even follow rules, even the set of morals. You might notice this already in a few arguments that we
I
had.
could just say you're autistic, but I don't want to be
Yes,
dismissive.
no, 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 no. It's because if you tell me a rule that I don't understand, I might have a semi trauma response. And I can become extremely angry. if you
Mm-hmm.
don't give me a perfect reason, which is not very adaptive because I mean, like,
Mm-hmm.
yes, like I don't. Sometimes people have reasonable. They don't have the energy to explain why a rule is that way, even though it does make sense when I actually rationalize it. But there are definitely rules that really don't make sense, and sometimes it's really
Mm-hmm.
hard to pick up which case it is. Uh, please, there are other traits, of course. It's like a full resentment of people. That's pretty much me. Uh, it's not a diagnosis criteria, but it's like how people do with ACPD, which I've been, interacting, um, like I've been seeing on Tumblr and such. And so
Oh,
I kind
yes.
of relate to that.
Tumblr, the best source of diagnosing ever. Like, you want a label, go on Tumblr and figure yourself out. Like, actually, though. Sorry. Go on. I
No,
needed
no,
to
no, it's
say
okay,
that. I
dude. It's okay.
really needed to say that.
That's okay. Okay. And I think because I want to talk you about the fact how because of the shit that I wrote when I was 17. That it's very interesting
The
because
shit I wrote
honestly,
when I was 17.
it's not even the cringe realm that I'm going that I can classify what I wrote when I was 17. It's more like how revealing it was at the time of me. Because at the time I did have my full resentment of people. It was not even when people could consider a angsty teenage phase because I still have it, so it's not that. So at the
Mom,
time,
it's not a phase, I swear.
it is not. I still resent people. Um,
What a fucking mess.
Still resented a lot. And I guess I was going through that phase like on steroids. And so I cope with writing every single thing that was coming up on my mind,
Mm-hmm.
which which if you notice, it can get worse every time that you try to go further spiral. So
Huh.
I wrote about violence and it was getting worse over time. Like I was writing there was a
Really?
yes, I was writing about violence. Like there were violent and very twisted short stories. Not very much, but there were short stories like that. Like I would write about. One time I said I wrote a little bit of BDSM based. It was kind of because given the fact that the person was they were having a moment of sexual violence, but kind of consented. Like the woman was feeling pleasure over uh, um,
I am so confused as to where you're getting at.
okay, basically, yeah, because oh my goodness, this is going to be difficult to describe it. So basically, it was a tale on toxic masculinity, but I was not very socially aware. But I was really writing about toxic masculinity at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and basically, the man has erectile dysfunction. Oh, I don't care. This is Plan 18. Um, and so he had to take pills to to
Get an
I guess to
erection,
get in a
yes?
fucking erection. Yeah. And so but he was doing this secretly. And when his partner found out, she found out the pills that were they fall on the
Oh, I
on
see
the
the comedy, the comedy part.
no the drawer. She found them, and then his partner, no, her partner.
Her
Oh my
partner.
goodness, yeah, her boyfriend saw her, and she was grabbing the pills, and then she would look at, and she gazed at him like with a smirk because you're like, oh, you are taking this, you are such a macho man, because the man was really like I guess there was a history of machismo and abuse. I guess that's like he was trying to be a man, but then he needed the pills to actually perform the typical role as a man. This is in, of course,
Mm-hmm.
heteronormative standards. And so she gazes at him. She does a smirk, and then he gets so irrationally angry that um,
Yeah.
I think and I think he trolls her like it. push her. I think. Oh my goodness, words are getting difficult. Push her to the ground, and I think
I'm getting so uncomfortable, not gonna lie.
yes, it's not
I'm getting
it's getting tricky because
extremely uncomfortable. Yeah. Okay, what is the point? What point are you
so
trying to make?
what is the
Sorry.
point? Yes, there is sorry, because I will refrain from details.
Thank you.
Sorry. Oh my goodness, now I remember.
That's
Okay,
fine. That's fine. That's fine.
okay, sorry. Basically, it's a play on violence and extreme violence. Actually, it was actually very violent. Oh my goodness, it was gory violence.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and
How did it make it worse for you writing about that? Because for me, it would have been cathartic. That I guess that's really my question there.
it was cathartic. It was about violence and male pleasure. But
Mm-hmm.
since he couldn't perform his role as a man, but he could it after the thing that happened. And I described to you, and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but it was in a very twisted way. It was not with the mm, yeah. I cannot really tell you.
Okay, I don't think you understood my question, or you are getting a little bit quote unquote too long to get there, and I'm getting lost.
No, I tried to explain what I was trying to say on this short story. That's what I'm telling, and it's getting difficult because it's like how do I explain to you without you
Okay,
being triggered?
no, no,
It's
no, but that's
difficult.
not what I'm
It's not.
trying.
It's
That's not what I'm trying to understand, because how we got here was with you saying that writing about topics like violence and such were making it harder for you, and were making you actually feeling, we're making it, sorry, we're making you feeling worse about it, you know? And I guess my question here is, why writing about those things was making it worse for you? Why is it that you felt worse when you wrote these things?
because it was compulsive. It was cathartic, but it wasn't a it's like you feel cathartic when you do a compulsion, right? I mean, it's not right because you don't understand. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't think I've
Yeah.
experienced it enough times to be able
Yeah,
to have a clear memory of it. I
because
don't know.
that's what I felt because I think I was having some I don't know if it was intrusive thoughts about
Mm-hmm.
this, about violence. I don't know. But it was very frequently for me to think about violence and to even enjoy to some extent. And
Mm-hmm.
so I did wrote that, and it was getting worse because it was compulsive. Of course, I would feel cathartic because that's what you feel when you have when you do a compulsion. You feel cathartic, but it's
Hmm.
like it gets worse because you feel cathartic and then you try to do more. So,
Hmm.
um,
I'm asking this because, like, at first when you started explaining, I felt like I related, but then I was like, when you said that it was worse for you, I suddenly didn't, because, put it this way, I I would get a lot of times special interest in things, and especially people. And it would feel kind of obsessive in a way. And from a neurotypical point of view, it is seen as an obsession. And it took me years and years and years, and actually being in a relationship that has lasted now 4 years and a half almost, um, and then getting a special interest on a completely different person, to understand that it's not obsessive
uh,
and those things are
no,
completely fine, and those things can coexist, and that doesn't mean that I'm
let,
obsessed about this one person. That's not what it
let me
means.
tell you something. Let me tell you something. Obsession is tends to be very maladaptive.
Mm-hmm.
So that's for it's not what you're talking about is not obsessive. And actually, I also struggle with that, and I had to rationalize this. It's
Mm-hmm. It took me a
maladaptive if
long
I'm
time.
yes, if you're doing this all the time, but because you
But I
were
couldn't tell, like,
yeah.
Rimbi, what you're telling me I
Mhm,
already knew, but
mhm.
I couldn't tell that it wasn't maladaptive. In my mind, I couldn't distinguish them because I was too centered on it. Like, when I'm experiencing it, it's such an intense experience that I cannot know if I'm doing it right or wrong, if it's doing me good or bad. I cannot really tell. And after it, it's already gone, and all I can have is the aftertaste of it, and I don't really know anymore. I can't really tell if it was a good or a bad thing anymore, because a lot of times it was a neutral experience. It was very intense, but it was still neutral. What
Mhm.
I'm trying to get at with this is that when I would get these special interests, a lot of time I would a lot of times I would write about people and about things that I was really, really into. Um, and for me, it was always a very good experience of summarizing them and being able to actually understand how in the moment I was feeling about them. And every single time that then I would read them, sometimes I would get strong emotional reactions. I would cry and I would sometimes laugh and just sometimes find it kind of funny how I was portraying things and feeling things. But it was always overall a very adaptive experience when I wrote about these things because it helped me contextualize and summarize how what it meant to me. And actually, the most things that I have a compilation of things that I've written for some years of my life, and they are a lot of times about, I guess, crushes I had, not necessarily crushes in the normative sense of the
Hmm.
word,
Hmm.
but they are really most of the time not even, I mean, they are of course about other people, but they are always about how I feel, how I grow with that, and how I perceive things, you know. And
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm probably different for you.
it really
Mm.
showed my growth. And I guess that when you were saying, oh, because I got kind of obsessive and then I would just write about this one thing. I was like, yeah, I would do that quite a lot. And then you go like, oh, but then I would feel worse. And I'm like, how would you feel worse? That was fantastic. That was like the best thing ever. We're talking about.
Because
See?
because obsession stuff. Because I was really obsessive. It was very maladapted. That's why I felt worse.
No,
Yeah.
now it makes sense. I was just like
Mm-hmm.
very confused, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Because I guess I was going through a very period of time where I feel hopeless and despair. Basically, what I've been through like since like the beginning of this month. Um,
Oof.
yeah.
What a mood.
I mean, it's been better actually. And that's when I made the realization on why I was writing that when I was 17. I still have intrusive thoughts, like clearly I'm writing a character that has OCD. Like it's really, it's canon. It has OCD really.
Mm-hmm.
You can notice how much the character spirals, and how they act. They actually have hacked. Um, it has a strong morality game there. It's like, um, because now I'm writing more logically than I used to. Because when I was 17, probably I was even more. It was more messy, to be honest. It was very messy. Yeah, it was more flowery. I think that's how I would describe it. Nowadays, it's very logical. It's very, yeah. It feels like more. Because I've been reading more philosophy, so it made sense that I would write something even more
Oh, absolutely. The things that
logical
I
based.
watch immediately affect the way my entire brain is wired, and it's fucking scary. Suddenly, I'm a completely different person.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Same. It also completely influences how I was writing. So it has a more moral based thing, which it puts into question. Like the premise is well, this character basically beats men with an umbrella, but that's pretty much the premise.
I had
Why?
forgotten
And
that was
on
the
the crotch
premise.
even. That was a premise, and the question that is being made, and it shall be answered on along this story, is they beat up the common man on their crotch. Who is or rather is the common man?
Uh,
That they are doing this for because they think that the man is the source of all evil, so that's why they're doing it. It's very silly at the start, but then we'll see. Yeah, I will not tell you anything more. It's very
ah,
funny. Like has a lot of the
such commentary on a lot of transphobia against specifically trans mask people. Not even. That's such good commentary on that because like I don't think you understand the discourse that sometimes exists. I mean you
I
do,
do,
but
Dave.
I know
Who
you do.
knows? Who knows?
It's a way of saying, okay? But like there's such a discourse around like, oh, because masculinity is bad, and I'm like, well, if you perform it as a cis white dude, maybe. Like Yeah, it might
That's
be,
basically the
but
second.
but
That's
but it
perfect.
doesn't have to be that way. Jeez.
But that'll be funny because that's. I cannot tell you that much. I'm so excited, but I cannot tell you. But I remember when I told you that imagine the person just beat up the advanced dude in the middle of this crunch. And it's nothing like.
It's like, nope, sorry, it doesn't really hurt all that much. I
Who
don't have
knows if
anything
that
there.
happens? And I thought this was so funny. I should have no write it down. Who knows? All right. I think it's because along the way, actually, I'd start to add more social critique on my stories because when I was 17, I was a bastard. I didn't care about politics. I was so full of bastard. And I hate everyone. Everyone should be killed. You know.
Jeez. Oh my god. That's kind of sick.
Dude, I'm not. I was very misanthropic when I was 17. I'm not even kidding. I'm so glad I didn't met when I was 17. You probably would be like, no, I don't want to be friends with this person.
Dude, do you think I would be a good person to be friends with? Wow. When I was 17, I was bad. I was bad. I don't have the
I
words.
was not an asshole. I know I was not an asshole. I was just
Oh,
like, I hate everyone.
I was kind of an
Okay, I
asshole.
was not an asshole. I was just, yeah, I could be a dipshit sometimes, but I will not say an asshole.
I
Because
guess.
also I had very well my humankind hatred tendencies very well, and I still do.
Same. People think that I love humanity and that I'm so kind and so this and so that, and I'm like, dude, sometimes if you knew how much I just hate everything here inside, I don't think you would consider me a good person,
I
really.
know you do. I know you do. You just like I hate humankind, and then I also do. Uh, it's so amazing how much I'm being able to hide it because people kind of see like this one person that is extremely funny and even sassy, but like, do you know how much hatred from humanity I have under that sass layer? Do you know how much hatred I have?
And with me, it's like, cause I'm that way. I'm the same on that. But I have an extra layer of just being very good with groups of people when I'm leading, and like I'm often put in a position of charge and of taking care of people. And I'm a teacher, so a lot of times people just see how I behave in front of other people and assume that I'm just very good and kind to people. And like, it's not that I'm unkind. I am not, but on the other hand, it's like just because I am performing my job very well and I am enjoying what I'm doing doesn't mean that I like people all that much, dude.
Don't get me wrong. There's people that actually call me very empathetic. I know. I know this is shocking to you, Dave. I know people call me empathetic. I know this is
Uh,
shocking to you.
I've done that several times. Sorry.
Oh yeah. Yes, I do consider you empathetic, but that's besides the point.
No, 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 no. I've called you
Kid, I know.
empathetic.
I, I know. I was kidding.
Okay.
So, but no, but I was someone actually some person actually called me that, and I don't want to tell to this girl like I hate humanity. I really
Dude, I've said that to my sociology teacher, and she was like, "Oh no, you don't." And I'm like, "No, I just don't believe in humanity. I don't think you understand how much I don't believe in humanity." And she was like, "Oh, that can't be. You are always in social projects and helping everyone and just leading people and doing such great things." And I'm like, "Dude."
I I think I can see the connection though, because I do because I'm also the same thing. Like I hate humanity, I hate human beings, but I'm like also very involved in when I can, of course,
Yeah.
in social projects. And it's more like it probably comes from my place of like sacrifice that I do have a lot.
Hmm.
That because I think there's no need to cause more harm than it exists in this fucking planet. So I should
Exactly.
so it is in that way, and I think it's like my purpose is to when I every time that I try to decide things, I try to maximize the happiness around others. I've noticed it's very totalitarian. It's kind of
Exactly.
pretty,
No, no,
but
no. But I'm like that as well. I
but yeah,
absolutely relate to that experience.
and it's a kind of an antisocial way of thinking apparently because that's what is
Really.
from. Yeah, because I watched a guy with an actual I would say social personality disorder, and he
Mm-hmm.
kind of shared the same believe as I'm sharing right now. And I was like, dude, I'm saying because he's also very self-sacrifice. He has a lot of self-sacrifice.
But I'm the
Uh,
same. Like,
yeah.
what I'm trying to say is that like it comes from that. Now a little bit less because I can self sacrifice a lot. Otherwise, I will be dead. I am way too
Hmm.
disabled for that right now.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, same
But
fatigue.
yeah, uh, but I used to be a lot like I don't believe in humanity, but I do believe in individuals, and these individuals have done nothing wrong, and they are in a position in which they don't deserve to be at, and if I can do something about it, I will. I don't believe it's going to change anything in the long run. I don't really believe it's going to make a difference because I don't think humanity is really in a great place right now, but I will do what I can in the way I can, even if I think it's kind of futile, because I guess that's the only thing I can do, and I think that if everyone did the same, we'd be better, you know? So I guess if I
It's
can
very
do
logical
something, I will.
because we do
But I
things
don't
very
really
logically.
exactly. But it's not that I believe in, you know, whatever people think that I believe in.
Hmm?
It's not that I believe in what people think that I believe in. I don't believe in any sense of like uh humanity having value on its own or being good or anything like that or having hope for it. It doesn't really come from that. I kind of don't really have high hopes for any of that.
I do have hopes in small communities.
Yes, but that's the thing. I small communities and individuals are kind. When I said individuals, I don't mean
Hmm.
necessarily just, you know, one on one. I know that's what the word means, but I guess small communities do count in the sense that they are not systemic. They are not big enough to actually be considered, you know, I don't know. I can't find the word. Sorry, my brain kind of died.
Hmm. To be I don't know. Me neither, dude. Me neither.
But yeah, but I think it was. I think it was clear enough.
Yeah, yeah. I see. I see. I see. I do believe that. I guess what I feel like because I do feel like I feel a lot of doom, and that's the kind of thing that I'm saying the most on this episode. Like I do feel doomed. Hello, I feel doomed. Did I tell you before? I still feel doomed. Uh, yeah. It comes from I kind of I don't know. Kind of
Comes
comes
from
from having
sorry.
a cluster B personality disorder, a suspicion of a cluster B personality disorder, like
Ah,
the
okay.
doom.
Sorry,
Yeah,
it
the
cuts.
cluster doom. Yeah, sorry. Um, and I do write a lot that too, but also, uh, I think I have the need to be awful in a way. Because honestly, I do feel a lot of doom, but I need to be awful desperately. Otherwise, I'll be just, you know,
Someone
stuck.
said to me not too long ago. Someone that sometimes is here, in chat, that he read
Hmm.
somewhere, uh, that hope is defiance, and those words really did change a lot of my thinking, in the sense that yes, people want us to feel
Oh my goodness,
hopeless about things, and just the act of hoping that we can do something is in itself an act of rebellion. And I agree.
yes, it is. Oh my goodness, I actually I hold that belief because joy is also an act of resistance.
Mm-hmm.
It
I
is joy
I
and hope. Those are the facts of defiance in a world that wants you desperately to be hopeless and joyless.
I actually don't feel that much about joy because I can feel joy
Oh
quite
yeah, joy.
easily.
Uh,
It's like for as
me
much.
neither.
No, I can. That's what I'm saying. I'm the opposite, I guess, on that. Because like
Oh yeah, sorry.
for as much as I have like problems with, I guess, finding meaning in a lot of things, I also am. a person that very easily gets excited about things. And when I get excited about things, I feel joy in them. I find joy in them and just doing them. So I guess I don't struggle with that one as much.
I have you.
That is fair.
uh, because when I try to be joyful, it's more like an act of resistance, really. Because my body is constantly asking me to be,
Depressed.
yeah. And so,
Sorry, I had to put it very
or
bluntly.
anxious.
Oh, I
No,
yikes.
it's fine. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. I appreciate your bluntness. Um, Not just my body, it's really also my environment. It pressures me to be
Mm-hmm.
joyless. I'm not even lying, to be honest. I still cannot feel joy on a daily basis. It's kind of rare, even. Um, and it's also in small things, but that's besides the point.
I feel like lately I have been feeling a lot more of a range of emotions. And that's actually a thing that Fibro gave me. You gotta find the positive things in all the bad things, because like Fibro is terrible. It's awful. I hate it. I
Mm,
hate every single part of it except two things. One, I stopped having as much mood swings as I used to. Like, I used to feel very
mm,
angry about some things, like minor things, a lot of times, like very often. And I'd melt down a lot and just be kind of awful sometimes, really kind of toxic. And lately, it
I
really
understand.
hasn't happened because I feel in a way I don't really have
Oh,
the energy to. But it has helped me distancing myself from things and just breathe in, breathe out. I can't waste my energy on this, and let's think about this rationally. So
oh yeah, prototyping. Yeah, sorry.
like on that, it's actually a good side effect of coming out of all the awful things that come with it. And the second thing is that I feel like, because as a consequence of being calmer overall, I feel a lot more nuance in my emotions. So for instance, I feel also a little bit sadder than before, because this is shit and makes me kind of depressed that I can't fucking walk sometimes. It's pretty depressing.
Oh,
But
that's me. Sorry.
it's yeah, it's quite depressing. But I also get to just look inside and try to understand how I feel, and I feel like I have so
Mm.
much more range of emotions than what I used to have. I feel things in a more subtle way. It's not always as intense as it used to be, and I feel that came from especially my autism, like making me feel things extremely intensively, like about everything. I would feel, if I felt angry, I would feel anger to the bottom of my heart, like with my entire body. Hey,
Hmm.
Catosaurus, welcome in.
Oh yeah, welcome in.
Yes,
Join in the party. Yay, we're talking about
we are
emotions.
talking about emotions. That's not the theme of today, but that's where we are, and we are rolling with it. I mean, it's very related to the creative process, and I was actually going to get back there. I was saying I used to feel like things very intensively, and I used to, like, if I felt happy, my entire body would just like vibrate and just feel extremely excited about everything and overwhelm everyone in the process, like everyone around me, because they would have to deal with an extremely jumpy toad. Um, but because right now I really don't have the energy to feel that way, I feel like I can more easily take a better grasp. I don't know what noise you're making, Humble, but it's distracting me. Oh, okay. Um, so because of that, I can much more easily tackle on those same feelings of emptiness that I was talking about. I feel like it has been easier to just understand how and why I feel that way, and it has been becoming a lot easier to come up with words for things. And I haven't tried to write after I uh, developed fibro in a more intense way, because I had a couple months that I still could cope with it, but then it started getting worse and worse. And I haven't tried to actually write after that, but I feel that if I tried, it would come out something completely different from what I was writing before. And it makes me kind of excited, but on the
Oh
other
yeah.
hand, I have so little energy that I
I have no.
couldn't
You have no
yet.
literature.
And
Oh yeah, yeah.
actually, I wanted to talk to you about that, Rimi, because we have a web story to write, and I am reading this one book, and let me quote a little bit of something that comes before, like in the introduction of the book. Let me go get it real quick. It's right here. Hold on.
Sorry. Okay.
Okay. Let me just find it.
Can I just add something? I
Yes,
don't
yes,
know.
yes,
Sorry.
yes. While I search, please go ahead.
Actually, I started to write. Actually, I wrote a poem. That poem that I sent to you. It was I felt it because it my inner voice come back, which is very rare. And actually, my inner voice kind of helps me to write poems. That's it. That's what I want to add. And also, I had the trouble realization that I do tend to write better when I'm having obsessive compulsive cycle. Anyway, proceed.
Okay, so I'm just gonna read the first paragraph of the preface and add a little bit. Oh, and I'm gonna paraphrase a little bit more of ahead of something the author said ahead. So to tell you something about something I've came to realize as well in the process of creating. So basically, it says, I began to write this novel with little sense of the plot, even less notion of the theme, and only the vaguest idea of the characters. I'm convinced that that's the way to do it. I tried to work out the plan of a novel once when I was young, ahead of writing it. It was an excellent plan. It took me months and covered page after page, and in the end, I was so fed up with the damn thing, I threw it away and started a quite different novel with no preparation at all, which came out much better. I
I don't remember
suppose
something.
I suppose these things are partly temperamental. I know that some excellent writers make a great thing of planning every book before they write it, but it doesn't work for me. And after that, he also he goes on explaining a couple things, and he says how he had a much more clear image of what the characters were like, and the way they interacted and what the plot actually came to be came through the interaction of the characters. And I've been feeling like maybe we've been thinking about our own story wrong, because I feel like that's the way to go. We have our characters, we know exactly who they are and how they would interact. We have a dynamic ready to go, and I don't know why we aren't writing. That's the conclusion I've gotten to by reading
I
the story.
have two things to add. One, because I'm extreme perfectionist, so I
Ah,
need
fuck
I
that.
yeah. So that's why like this character is not there. It is not there. It's not there. It's not there, Remy. It's not there, Remy. It's not there. I tried to write several things, and I tried to write like how this character would write, and I cannot come up. Like I know that they will have a very inaccessible vernacular sometimes, but
And that's exactly
they
why
still
we're
have a very
writing it
shitty type of
together.
humor. But it's not that. It's not that, Remy. Please do better, and I cannot be doing
Maybe?
it.
Exactly. But that's the thing. That's exactly why I asked you to write it with you, because I knew that I would just be kind of lazy and you would be too perfectionist to come up with something. So why aren't we writing? Apart from me just being chronically tired for the rest of my life, Let's just forget that for a second here.
And I've
Why?
been dealing with a lot of obsessive cycles. Let's forget that here as well.
Yes, but on the other hand, I think we've been trying to plan way too much and trying to be writers way too little. We have the characters. Fuck it, I even have part of the soundtrack already written.
Fuck, I even created the fucking server.
I have a Tumblr blog
But
with the creations of my own character. We have so much already, and we are not writing because we are eternal perfectionism because ADHD, and we are eternal procrastinators because ADHD and autism, and we want everything to be perfect because we are autistic as well.
Perfectionism comes from my C. My perfection comes from my C. Please identify. At least if you're going to call me a perfectionist, at least use it with the right distinction.
Absolutely fair. But okay,
Call out my.
okay,
Sorry.
okay. No, yes, bad on me. Acknowledge that I failed there. I guess I mentioned ADHD because it's a symptom of hyperactivity, actually. Being a perfectionism, that's a very common one to manifest in AFAB people.
Okay. Yes. But for me, it comes very much from mostly because I
Absolutely
cannot.
fair.
I can't. The idea comes from my head, and I cannot write it because, well, it's actually ADHD to be honest. If I cannot write it, it's mostly because I just become overwhelmed. But also, I don't exclude OCD. That actually the idea is not right. The idea is not right. No, it's not there. It's not how it is transposing from the your synapses are doing to the fucking paper. Actually, though, one more thing. Actually, I quit from writing on paper. You know why?
Hmm.
Dysgraphia. Because here's the thing that happens.
Uh,
When I start writing, I exert so much pressure on my hand that one time when I wrote for long periods of time, I would get my finger, my thumb, was getting actually got kind of an injury because like yeah, because I would write so for because there's so much pressure on my wrist for so long periods of time because my letter has to be like rounded because that's my mechanism to make it more rounded because I have very bad calligraphy, lettering, whatever. Um,
I mean, for AFAB standards, I've seen guys writing way worse than that and not being called out on it.
yeah, but I was very cold on it, so it's like it was a lifetime of
Because
trying
you're
to
a
learn how to
quote
write.
unquote girl.
Yeah.
That's it. That's literally it. That's just
and
sexism.
so
Let's
and
face it.
and I would push. Yeah. And I would pressure. If there's so much pressure, that would actually hurt my hand. And I stopped doing that because it was also another way to stop me from writing because I could not write on paper. So I had to start to write on computer. Otherwise, I would never know. Actually, my cell phone. Actually, I wrote a lot on my notes. I write a lot on my notes because that's actually where my poems come from. Like I start to write on my notes because honestly I can no longer write on my paper because if I'm not exerting that much pressure, the lettering is just horrendous. I cannot read it months after. So I had to write on my notes. And it's been better because actually though, writing on my notes has been allowed to experiment. So not bad. That's why you see those strokes and fragments. It's like me styling with how I'm writing on the note app. It's very extremely. I love it. So my disability was actually kind of useful.
You know, we all end up finding good sides on our disabilities, no matter how bad they are. Unless, I mean,
Oh, this
okay,
stuff feels horrendous. It's also it didn't allow me to do crafts, but that was probably because of how much people shame me for not being able to do crafts because I was dysgraphic. But anyways, that's besides the point.
let me just correct something I just said because I realized that I was being kind of a dick. It's okay if you hate your disability, and it's okay if you don't find joy in it, and it's okay if you just hate every single aspect of it because sometimes disabilities just to be
Oh,
awful.
I hate OCD.
But what I'm trying to say is that a lot of because I did misspoke. Yeah, I misspoke. A lot of times we end up finding little perks on it that end up feeling like okay, everything is awful, but this one thing is kind of funny or is kind of cool, or we a lot of times end up doing that to, I guess, cope with how bad things are. At least I find that to be my own experience. But on the other hand, I know of people that just hate every single aspect of their disability, and that's quite all right.
Oh, sometimes I hate autism.
Okay, but no, but I do mean just literally hating literally every single aspect of your
OCD,
disability
yeah, then
every
yeah,
single day of your life, and
OCD.
that's okay. That's okay
It's
if you do.
OCD. Yeah, I hate obsessives. I have compulsions. I hate anything. Everything doesn't. Anything comes. Nothing good comes from OCD.
That is fair. See.
Because it puts me into because I talk about morality. because there are intrusive thoughts that actually question my morality. um,
Yeah, which is the thing that I kind of didn't have a conversation with you
hmm,
yet on the whole morality thing because I got absolutely tired and I just, I guess, couldn't cope.
I understand. It's a very complicated one. Sometimes I don't know if
We can do a whole episode on it if you want to. We can just do a whole episode on
morality.
neurodivergency and morality, really.
Oh yeah, for sure. Next one then. When actually I finished the whole short story. Apparently, I hope so.
Uh, I guess we also have what was the other topic? It was about
Oh, I don't remember the
privacy.
one. That
It
one.
it was privacy and disability.
Oh, it was you. It was you that suggested. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
That was me suggesting it, yes.
Makes sense. Okay. Oh, okay. We will decide. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
we'll decide eventually on
to talk
which one.
shortly about to introduce you to the theme of morality. There are thoughts that I sometimes makes me doubt of my morality, and there are ones that actually turn out to be racist. Yeah,
Yep.
I do have racist intrusive thoughts, and that's agonizing actually.
Sorry, I wasn't expecting you to just put it like that. It's not that
I had
it's
to be
wrong,
blunt.
but
It's very blunt. I know.
yeah, I just wasn't expecting it to be as blunt as it was.
Yeah, because I have to be blunt. I think to recognize that yes, they're not just weird intrusive thoughts. They are really like messed up shit, and that's probably the one that I can have sometimes. Like if I'm crossing with someone from an ethnic minority, it tends more to be black people actually. Um, I think it used to be worse, but it's usually not things that I genuinely believe,
Mm-hmm.
but exist in my brain. Like
Oh
and
yeah,
I can
absolutely.
yeah, and those biases they come up on my brain as intrusive thoughts, and I don't believe them, but it's kind of scary because it makes me think if I'm racist or not. And
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, you were raised to
Mhm.
believe in those things. It
Mhm.
doesn't mean that, you actually
But I don't act on
do.
it.
Yeah, you don't really believe in them, but you grew up with people that did, and that takes a toll on you. So, I mean, and
Yeah,
I'm speaking of my own experience there when I say this because, I'm white.
because like yes, I'm also white.
Have you seen how fucking white I am?
You are bleached.
I am bleached. Guys, the privilege that I have, it could buy a house. I
You
kid
could
because
buy you
you,
could buy a house. There's a housing crisis right now too.
but that's how white I am. Do you see my privilege? Do you see what I've become?
You have privilege. You
You,
have privilege, dude. I mean, not as a white person, but
okay, no,
as a
that's
dude,
literally
as a
no,
trans dude,
that's literally the only
as
privilege
a
I have.
as a bisexual dude, that's as an autistic with several disabilities, dude.
I don't even have the privilege of being a dude because I'm perceived as a woman.
Ew, gosh, being perceived as a woman. You, you.
Yep. Unfortunately,
Oh,
unfortunately, it tends to
I mean,
happen
as
quite
the
a
butcher,
lot.
I do understand. Which is now a woman's is a bit of a stretch.
I mean, it's true that guys stopped trying to arrest me in the middle of the road and stopped catcalling me. That is a nice thing.
Yes, slay.
Like I cut my hair and guys just lost interest, and I'm like, thank God, please. If I knew this, I would
Guys,
have cut
we're
my hair.
different. Transition and you get less harassment. No.
Absolutely, like it was instant. It was like frame one, people stopped arresting me in the middle of the street. So I guess there's that. But then if I try to
I think
r-
I'm less harassed because I'm weird looking.
yeah, but a lot of times I get the, oh
So
sorry, I cannot perceive you with as anything but a woman, and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess, I guess,
thank you.
I tried,
Thank you.
I tried. So there's that.
But it's just I'm not saying this to be false. God damn, it's because my brain told me to tell this. Like I'm not trying to boast because I'm really reassuring myself that I'm not lying. Great. Um, yeah, guys, this is OCD in action. Please watch it. Please. Give us a like.
No, they can't watch it. The whole point is that you don't look disabled. There's no cameras. For now, because there's no budget for Ribi to have a camera yet. And by camera, we mean a whole fucking computer that can handle it as well.
I mean, they would really benefit from someone that is with their head down and with their eyes closed. I don't think they would benefit from seeing that, but that's besides the point.
I mean, you would look disabled at least. That would be so
No,
fucking ironic. I would love to see that. Hey.
actually, I have to put the effort to actually look less disabled because honestly, it's weird to actually. Because it's just been our way of coping with.
I mean, just look fucking disabled. What do I fucking care? They think I will care? No one will fucking care. That's the whole point.
You will not care because you're beautiful, Dave. You will not care because you're beautiful.
Oh,
Okay?
thank you, but that's besides the point.
No, because people that don't care are beautiful.
But you're
but there are a
beautiful
lot
too.
of ugly people, so yeah. I know that I'm beautiful, for Christ's sake. Why are you telling me that?
Because you are bringing yourself down like a fucking idiot. That's what.
No, I'm not. I'm saying that there are a lot of ugly people that do judge.
I guess.
I'm not understanding why I'm putting myself down. I'm just describing how I am right now. Listen, I'm doing progress. At least I'm not as self-destructive as before. So yes, progress.
Not as bad as I could be. I'll give you oh fuck a badge
of what I tried.
Yeah, I'll give you a little star with
No,
five
please,
pointed
it's been progress. Hey, it's been progress.
I know, I'm kidding, come on.
Okay, because I do feel a lot of rage because I forget to add, because then you start to talk about the mood swings and then I want to add something that I forgot, but
sorry,
I've been so able to suppress my rage so better, like, oh my goodness, it's not even because man, because I used to have, because a week ago I was having a lot of urges to actually hurt people, so basically, and I had to isolate myself, and so I'm kind of proud that I did that, even though it was kind of like, oh, you are proud for avoiding being an asshole. And my brain was telling me to be an asshole all the time, so it's like, kind of, because it's for me it's obsessive, but I'll take your point. Probably it's mood for you.
It is a fucking mood.
It is a fucking mood.
Maybe I don't need to be the party
so
pooper,
we're talking about,
but I will want to finish soon. I mean, you were gonna say something, so you do say your thing.
It was a story like, yes, I will try to, we should be writing. But then again, time, Dave. Where's the time?
I mean, like you said, like we are gonna do it on the Discord server, right? We need to take some time to prepare a couple things, as in... No. Okay, no. Listen to me. Listen to me, bastard. I mean, just when I say preparing, I just do mean like some logistics, not writing. The writing will come as we do it, period. Whatever comes of it is whatever comes of it.
Nice. Okay, logistics then.
Yeah, we'll just need to discuss a couple of logistics. And, well, it's a conversation that is happening between two people anyway, and people are busy, and they will talk when they can talk.
Yeah, makes sense. No, that was actually the original plan. Also, thank you for calling me a bastard. I know that I'm a beautiful bastard to you. I have to acknowledge that.
Anyway. It's Paul.
Okay, we should wrap up then.
Yeah, sorry guys, today the episode was a little bit short. It's like I said in the beginning, because otherwise I don't think I can go to work tomorrow, and that would be a bad. I already skipped work Tuesday because I switched my medication.
Criminality.
I mean, okay, so I actually didn't say this, but basically On Monday, I had an appointment, a medical appointment with a neurosurgeon because my family doctor was still convinced that my problem was in my spine somehow. Me, doctor, I cannot sleep. I keep on sleeping too much, and I keep being tired all the time, and my elbows and knees hurt, and everything hurts, and like literally every part of my body hurts, and I'm just so tired. And my doctor was like, could it be your spine? I don't know how she got to this conclusion, but this was a conclusion that she took out of it. And so I went to a neurosurgeon after finding a problem that I do have in my spine, but it's kind of minor considering. But there I went. It's the spine, duh. And there I went. And the neurosurgeon, to my biggest surprise, told me, Deering, you have nothing to do here with me. I'm sorry. Because your problem is most likely fibromyalgia. And I was like, oh, I am so surprised. I'm dying because I am so surprised. I don't think you understand. Uh, and I was like, yeah, I tried to tell that to my family doctor. By the way, I am on tramadol, and I know that's not the most, it's not the best medication for what I have. So would you be empowered to give me some other kind of meds that are not these? And he was like, yes, I can actually do that, and I'll do that for you, which he did. He prescribed me new medication, and he left on my medical process that, yo, this person here, fibro, please get this person a fucking rheumatologist right fucking now, which very much appreciated. The problem, the new medication is kind of hard to adapt to, and you need to start with very low dosages, which don't really take your pain away, and the secondary effects on the first days are extremely heavy. So I started taking it like, yay, new meds, I'll feel so much better, and turns out I felt so much worse. I felt like shit. I had like super lucid dreams that were basically fucking hallucinations, that I would wake up and not be able to distinguish reality from dream and from whatever the fuck was going on, not knowing where I was or who I was. I would get extreme headaches, like to the point that I just wanted to bonk my head against the walls, and just pain in my entire body. I would feel a little bit nauseous and just feel extremely terrible and awful, and just, when you are very depressed and anxious and you just are very uncomfortable with yourself for absolutely no fucking reason. Yeah, all of that at once, and I just couldn't fucking leave my bed. So I didn't. I didn't stream that day. That's why I didn't stream on Tuesday. I didn't go to work. I slept that day 16 hours, and I put an alarm to like a 4:15 to go like, can I go give my two last classes of the day because I give classes on that day in two different places after stream. And I was like, maybe I can still go to the last one if I feel a little bit better. And I woke up and I was like, I was feeling a little bit better, but I was like, I can't drive. If I was to give the classes like literally next door, I could give those classes, but I can't do a half an hour trip each way to give the classes, so I'm just going to cancel everything. And so I did. And today I didn't have classes, so I just rested the whole day. And yeah, I was like, maybe I can do the podcast. I think I can if I don't overdo it, and I'm doing it. But yeah, I was like, no overdoing it, no being in a podcast until 1 a.m. Right now it's almost 11.
11.
And sometimes we stay here up until 1 a.m. just talking, and I was like, no, that's not gonna happen today, because tomorrow I have to give classes in two different schools and go to my physiotherapy appointment in the middle of the day, and I absolutely should be doing those, and not spending yet another day on my bed, because I'll go insane. So yeah, that's why we're finishing soon, guys. I'm sorry, this was kind of heavy, but it is what it is. I'm reacting way better to the meds now. I've been able to not have extreme headaches. I've actually stopped, because on the first day I actually had to mix the medication I'm taking right now with paracetamol so that I could, balance the pain out. And right now I actually was able to higher the dosage a little bit so that I don't feel as much pain without getting so many side effects. The doctor didn't really tell me to higher the dosage, but I kind of had to. But that's another deal. But I'm feeling fine, or at least way finer than before, and it's actually working better for my pain. So I think that I'll be back on track soonish.
Yes.
ish, ish, and by ish I mean that I hope that by January, February, I hope to be doing a more close to having a normal life kind of deal. It's not, and it's never going to be normal, but just my normal, hopefully.
We'll see. I mean, but you don't look disabled, Jules. It's
I
what do you
know.
say?
That's
I know
it.
you're.
People look at me and they're like, "Oh, you're so young and full of energy. You don't really know how it is." And like I work with old people, so I hear this a
It's
lot.
ages. It's
Sometimes,
ages. You know.
yeah, like sometimes they are like, "Oh, I'm in so much pain and I need to sit down." And I'm like, "Oh man, I relate to that. Let's just sit here and chill for a bit." And they're like, "Oh, but you're young." And I'm like, "Dude, if you only knew."
Oh yeah.
Because they always answer with, "Oh, you're young. You still have so much to live and so much to do
Oh,
and
I
so much
no.
energy. Oh, I miss having your age."
So much energy.
And I'm
Oh my
like,
goodness.
dude, I literally feel as bad as you do right now, probably. So like, let me be old with you. Ah,
Um, I also deal with my share of chronic fatigue, but I'm able-bodied still.
are you? Because chronic fatigue already falls on the disabled body, I feel.
Because I do have a mild case.
I think you are just in denial that you are also crippled. I think that's it.
No, I'm not crippled, mate. I just
Denial.
I just have concerned when I was in the library. Like, should I bought some actually pastry to actually eat because it's been a long day, and the pastry thing was like
Extra.
900 meters. So
I'm also
it was like,
200.
should I consider doing those 900 meters and come back and doing like 1 kilometer and 800 meters? Yeah, 1 kilometer and 800 meters. Great. Uh, you get it.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I was like considering that, but I I felt I was going to be tired just thinking on that. So, but I'm a baby body, mate. What are you talking about?
Uh-huh. You are in
I'm
so much in denial, and I'm like, I'm just waiting until until you understand that you should actually get a medical appointment for that, and I'm just
I
waiting for
did.
you.
I
Oh,
did. With
oh,
my, but I didn't say like to my general practitioner, I had to suspect of chronic fatigue because I cannot do that. I had to say, can I just do the blood analysis just to check if I had some vitamins in, like missing or something? I had to pretend it was not a big deal because honestly, she would be like, "Oh, you're already suspecting you of a chronic illness. My goodness."
oh
No, I
God.
cannot. What a smartass. Yeah, probably they would think. I don't. I mean, she's cool, but I don't know. So I had to ask that, and apparently my blood analysis can be, unless there's something missing, I
Mm-hmm.
do think that they are normal. So
Yeah.
take that as you will. Mate, I don't. I'm able body. I'm still. Don't you remember? I can still walk. I don't struggle doing commuting for long periods of time. Like I didn't once even went to do a commute and then having an appointment, and I got fucking tired just by dragging myself on the train. No, I was able bodied all the way.
Mm-hmm. God, you are so sus for all of that.
Please
Uh,
help me.
my God. I'm gonna read something that Catasaurus wrote. I may look young, but I have an old soul, inspiring joints and inflammation, and I'm like, yes.
I do have an old soul though, because I'm sometimes I'm extremely wise that people actually can be a little confused by my age, but that's besides the point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was answering Catasaurus. Yes, we are gonna end. We are gonna
Yeah,
do the
please.
thing where we end. I don't think we're
We
gonna.
went.
No, we are too little people today to raid. I'm not gonna go through the trouble of raiding and then it's just basically me, and I don't wanna do that.
Oh, but god damn it, we missed Jessica. But the dude
Oh,
has been through a lot. But
dude has been through a lot. I mean, listen, the regular peeps will come back because we were also out for a while. Also, we had Catasaurus here today as a new viewer, so that was also very nice.
yay!
Very glad to have you
Very
here, mate. And yeah, we will just end. We'll be hopefully, and I do mean hopefully, back next.
And we're crossing fingers.
Yes, next Wednesday, if I and Rimby are okay enough to do this shenanigan. Mostly me, really, because I actually haven't been. So, anyway, guys,
And I keep crossing my own boundaries. Please, bye.
bye bye, guys.